Hi, I'm Erin with Breathe Grace Yoga, bringing you day 2 of Yuletide Yoga. Today's pose is Pigeon Pose. There are many ways to do Pigeon Pose, and I'm going to take you through several of them today. I'm not even sure if I'll hit all of them. Every time I turn around, I learn another way to do Pigeon Pose. Pigeon Pose is a deep hip opener. It relieves lower back pain and tight and sore hips. It releases tension in your hips and your back. It's a wonderful, wonderful pose, and there's lots of different ways you can do this. So we'll start with the traditional pigeon poses. One pigeon pose is lying down on your back. Start with your knees up, feet are about hip distance apart. You want to lift one leg. I'm going to lift my right leg. Flex the toes to protect the knee joint. Bring it across the thigh of the opposite leg. This right here is a hip opener, and if you want, you can press on that thigh to open it up a little bit more. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can reach underneath your left thigh, lift your shoulders and your head, and pull that leg toward you. That'll give you a little bit of a deeper pigeon pose, keeping that foot flexed the whole time. Just switching sides, flex the foot on the left foot, bring it across, lift, and pull that leg toward you. Making sure you're breathing. Another way to do pigeon pose, sometimes called swan in this position. Start on all fours, bringing your right leg forward and sliding your left leg back. So your right leg is across the top of your mat, left leg is back. This is called pigeon or sometimes swan. And for a deeper stretch, you can even come down and put your head onto the mat. We'll do the other leg. So start in table, bring the left leg forward, slide the right leg back, and there you have it. Okay, another way to do pigeon poses as a standing balance pose. So you want to start with your feet hip distance apart. I love this one as a standing balance pose. You want to engage your core. Get nice and grounded and centered. Choose your standing foot. I'm going to choose my left leg first. Spread the toes, feel the ground beneath your feet. Lift the right leg. Flex those toes again, just like when we were on the floor. Put it across above your knee. Hands come to prayer hands and sink down. Breathing and holding a nice hip opener that's also a balance pose. I'll do the other one sideways so you can see what it looks like from the side. Right leg grounded, spreading the toes, engaging the quad, engaging the core, lifting the left leg, flexing those toes across the right thigh. Hands come to prayer at heart center and come down. Now these are the 3 traditional ways to do pigeon pose, and they can be challenging for lots of reasons. So let's break them down and show you some variations in pigeon pose that you can do anytime you'd like, okay? So let's start with the standing since we're already standing. You have a chair next to you. Your standing leg will be next to the chair. Lift your other leg. Bring it across and come down. Okay, so now you've got chair support to help you with the balance, but you're still getting a really nice stretch in the hip and you're building strength in that standing leg. Another way you can do this is if you have a wall behind you. Let me move over a little bit. Put your tailbone right up against the wall. Choose your standing leg. Bring your other foot across. I'm going to switch and come down. So now you've got wall support to help with your balance. You're building strength in your standing leg. You're opening the hip with your bent leg. And you can hold this for a pretty long time because the wall is supporting you. So let's talk about chair pigeon. Seated in a chair, you have a few options here. You can lift your leg, flex the toes, bring it across your lap, and then just press into that thigh if it feels good to open up that hip. And we can do it both ways. Now, what if you can't get your leg up there? Or you can get one leg up there, but not the other. I've seen this. Grab some blocks or books. Doesn't matter if you don't have blocks, something to raise the floor up a little. Put it in between your feet. Let me move back to make sure you can see this. Put it in between your feet. Lift one leg. Put the outside of your foot on top of the blocks and open up the hip, pressing into that. And the other side, outside of the foot. And as you get more flexible in your hips and in your ability to raise your foot up higher, you can just add a block. You might not be all the way up here yet, but you can certainly open that hip a little bit more by raising the stack of your blocks a little bit higher. It's a great hip opener right here on the chair. All right. A couple of other ways you can do pigeon or swan, as we did on the mat earlier. Okay, this is the one facing forward. You can bring your leg onto the chair and come back like this. Nice stretch right here in your hip flexor. This feels really good. Without getting on the floor. We'll try the other side. So bring that leg across, other leg back. Really great hip and glute stretch in this position. And finally, grab a bolster or a couple of pillows, put it across your mat, come down onto all fours, and you can bring your foot in front of the bolster and place your hips right on the bolster for a little extra support here. Pigeon or swan pose, and you can even come down if it feels good with the bolster supporting your hips. So let's go ahead and find a comfortable pigeon pose for today. Maybe it's standing, maybe it's seated, maybe it's on the floor, on your back, or maybe facing this way the way I'm going to do it. And let's set our intention for today. So go ahead and get into a pigeon pose that you would like to hold for a minute or two. Feel your breath and focus on your breath for just a moment. Noticing how it feels when you inhale, expanding your ribs, and how it feels when you empty your lungs. Focus on the intention of release. of letting go. Letting go of tension, letting go of stress, letting go of hurts that you're feeling right now. Release these feelings and invite in to your body peace, love, forgiveness, and serenity. Take this intention into your day, and anytime you need, stop and breathe in the intention of release. Thank you for joining me today for day 2 of Yuletide Yoga. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. Bye.